strangely emotional hearing stories like that, isn't it? My life changed on October the 9th. On October the 7th, like many of you, I saw the events of that tragic day unfold almost live on Twitter. On October the 9th, I got a phone call from my daughter Freya, who many of you are disappointed is not here, and you have to settle for me, and I apologize for that. Freya called me from Sydney Uni and said, "Dad, the pro-Palestinians are planning an anti-Israel event, march in Sydney. We have to do something about it." So I called the station commander in Sydney and I said, "This is an unauthorized gathering. We want to organize an event against this. We want to protest this." And the station commander very politely said to me, "Mr. Leach, we are advising the Jews to stay out of," these are exact words, "we're advising the Jews to stay out of the city today." Now remember, this is the day they were going to light up the Opera House sails in blue and white as an act of solidarity to Israel, but we've got to keep the Jews out of the city. And then he said, "And Mr. Leach, if you come into the city, we cannot guarantee your safety." And then he said to me, the final point, he said, "And Mr. Leach, if you come into the city and you try and do anything, we will arrest you to prevent a breach of the peace." Now, I'm a migrant. I've been here nearly 30 years, and I picked up some of the vernacular. So I hung up the phone, and I thought to myself, bugger that. So I put on a clerical shirt, took my squash bag, wrapped up a big Israeli flag in my squash bag, and if you know Sydney, the rallies all start in Town Hall Square, which is between the Town Hall and the Anglican Cathedral. I have been an Anglican minister for 30 years. And so I went and stood on the steps of my Anglican cathedral and I watched 1,000 keffiyeh-wrapped jihadists gather in the centre of Sydney to chant cries of hatred and ethnic cleansing against Israel and the Jewish people. The IDF had not yet gone into Gaza. This was pure, naked hatred. And so I thought, I cannot stand here and do nothing, so I took the Israeli flag out of my bag and I stood on the steps of the cathedral and I waved the flag. And I did that not just because I wanted to show solidarity with Israel, and I did. I did that because I wanted to take a stand for Australia, for the kind of country we had been and we could be. A country that did not cede the centre of our cities to jihadists peddling hate, dividing Australians from each other and turning their wicked anti-Semitism against our beloved Jewish community. I got a lot of media, and the Jewish community started inviting me to come and speak at things, and everybody was so grateful. And they said to me, "Mark, thank you so much." And I felt so bad, and I just would say to them, "Don't thank me. I just did what any decent citizen of this country would do." Now, here's another thing you need to know about me. Well, you need to know because I'm going to tell you. In addition to being an Anglican minister, I'm halakhically Jewish. My mother and her parents fled Germany in 1938, ended up as refugees in Swaziland. I was born up in Zambia and grew up in Africa. With a Roman Catholic father and a Jewish mother, I had double the guilt. And I now say to people, I identify as 100% Christian and 100% Jewish and just bad at maths. But it struck me in the days and weeks after October the 7th and October the 9th that we were facing a critical moment in Australia. And the moment was this: will we as Middle Australia, as Christian Australia, and I use Christian in an expansive sense, will we repeat the mistakes of the Christians in Germany in the 1930s? And this was their mistake. 20% of the German Christians supported Hitler, 20% opposed Hitler. The problem was the middle 60% who didn't want to get involved, who didn't want to be political. Do you know the most common day in Germany in the late 30s and 40s for rounding up Jews? Do you know which was the most common day of the week when this occurred? Sundays. Why Sundays?
They're in church.
Because the authorities would call the pastors and say, "Keep your people in church, singing their songs, saying their prayers, so they will not hear the sounds of their Jewish friends and neighbours being rounded up and taken to death camps. And I looked at Australia, this amazing country that we love, and I thought to myself, what we have to do is win Middle Australia over, educate them, activate them, mobilize them. We're not close to Germany in the 1930s, but that is such a catastrophic destination that we have to do whatever it takes to make sure that we in Australia do not tread that fateful path, because we know where it ends. And so we started this movement, Never Again Is Now, and that was my intro, and Alex told me I had 45 minutes, so you're joking, you laugh. We started Never Again Is Now with the singular goal of, let me see if this works, here we go, of making anti-Semitism unthinkable. Unthinkable. Because and our theory of change is this: we want to do it by renewing our commitment to the values, practices, and institutions of Western civilization. So we can deal with the surface phenomena, the symptoms, and they need to be dealt with. And you need to get the graffiti down, and we need to prosecute incitement to violence and hate speech and all those things. But anti-Semitism is like the warning light on the dashboard of your car. So for the last 6 weeks, I've been really busy and traveling, and every time I get in our car, I notice this annoying light with a little message that flashes and says, your car is due for an oil change and service. And then the message changed, and you know what it said? Your car is now overdue for an oil change and message. And you know what my strategy is, of course, is just to ignore it. And eventually, you know what will happen? My wife will take it in to get serviced. What will happen if you ignore the warning light, or if you just unplug the fuse so the warning light doesn't show? Eventually the engine blows up. So I firmly believe, and what I want to encourage us all to think about, is what we are facing in Australia is a 20-year battle ahead of us for the soul of Western civilization here in Australia. We are being divided from each other by the attacks of the radical left, the cultural Marxist, post-colonial radical left, who would turn us against each other. We're being divided by the political Islamists, the jihadists, who wish to come, funded by overseas governments and a 50-year strategy of the Muslim Brotherhood, to take advantage of our Western civilization and from within destroy us. And now what we are seeing, which is truly something I didn't think I'd see in my lifetime, we're seeing the racist right pop up. So we are fighting a war on three fronts: the radical loony left, the jihadist political Islamists, and the racist right. So what does that take from us? Well, dear friends, we have to own and lead the center. We have to say, this Western civilization, with its 1,000-year history of traditions and political theory going back to England, and its 3,000-year history where its core ideas are shaped by the Torah, by the Hebrew scriptures, we have to take that tradition and we have to conserve it and preserve it, and we have to work together so that we in Australia remain, as our national anthem says, one and free. We're united and we're free. We want to build a country where we are not divided, where we are not racist. So you say, well, Mark, that's all great. Great political rhetoric, and is that your stump speech? Well, what do I do now? Okay, so let me tell you what we do. I'll go through that. There we go. If we're successful, we want to ensure Australia remains a beacon of the best of Western civilization, which is what it's been. It's been not perfect. No one's saying it's perfect. But we're to love Australia the way my wife loves me. Do you know how that is? My wife will defend me to all outsiders. She's fiercely loyal to anyone who attacks me, and there are a lot of those. But she spends her whole life trying to change me. That's love. That's love, right? That's how we are to love this great country of Australia, as a beacon of the best of Western civilization. And the evidence of that, I want to submit to you, the evidence of that is that the Jewish community is flourishing, and that we are steadfast allies of the nation state of Israel. Not because Israel's perfect, but because Israel is fighting our battle for Western civilization in the face of a jihadist onslaught on all sides. What's our strategy? Education and activation. We've got to help people understand what's at stake. Someone said to me the other day, Mark, you're really smart, you're fine intellectual. You've got to realize this. He said, Aussies care about three things: beer, footy, and maths. So we have to help Australians. In our wonderful maths, married at first sight, for those of you who are too cultured to know what that is. We have to help Australians realize that the kind of multi-ethnic, inclusive, wonderful civilization we have, this has not happened by accident.
Yeah.
Previous generations have paid with their blood to defend the freedoms that we enjoy.
Yeah.
And we must be aware of that. And we owe it. Now, we'll be okay. 1930s Germany is not about to happen here, and we'll be fine. But what about our grandkids? What sort of country are they going to inherit? So we need to educate people, and then we need to activate them. We can analyze the problem until the cows come home, but you know what we need to do? We need to make sure that every Australian knows what they can do to make a difference, to preserve this wonderful culture that we have. And so this is a vision that we have around activation. 1 million everyday Australians united and committed to pushing back antisemitism. Because one of the things that struck me after October the 7th is the Jewish community is too small to defend themselves. And neither should they. Anti-Semitism is not a Jewish problem, though it is. It's an Australian problem, and we need to address it as Australia. So 1 million Aussies signed up, and we're starting here tonight. There's 300 of us. So we've only got 900, a few to go. We've got a pledge that I want to encourage you to sign. Because you're all here, we're all thinking great thoughts about graffiti and our councils and all the challenges we have. But I want to ask you, particularly, I'm assuming if the Jewish folk here, you all get this, but if you're not Jewish, I want to ask you, how committed are you in your own heart to this fight? Like, how, will you stand up and be counted? And then, what we want to do with this pledge is it's a detailed pledge. There's 7 points, but then can you take that pledge and use it as a tool to educate your friend and then your friend's friends? Because what I've learned in 30 years of trying to convince people that there's a God that they should love and serve, I haven't been that successful here in Australia, I must confess. But what I've learned is that people's hearts and minds are changed one at a time. It's one conversation, it's one coffee, it's one story at a time. So will you sign a pledge, and then will you share that pledge with your neighbors, with your fellow council members, with people at work? And then will you join us? We're planning. We ran a whole bunch of rallies around the country, events last year, and this might be a dumb idea. I've been known to have dumb ideas. I don't think it's dumb. We want to unite people on Sunday, October the 26th, for a national day of Australians against anti-Semitism. Let's keep Australia one and free. And so what I'm saying to folk around the country is, hey, listen, if you think hating Jews is a bad idea, will you give us 2 hours of your Sunday to get off your bum and come and stand with us and other people in your local community? Just say to Australia, we think hating Jewish people is not Australian, and we don't want to put up with it. We want Australia to be one and free for all of us. And so there's a place to sign up for that. We have grassroots movements, people across the country starting to organise these events, all the way from Cairns down to Adelaide, from the East Coast to the West Coast. If you want to organise an event, we've got a little kit that can help you do that. It could be 5 of you just gathering with an Aussie flag, linked onto our website, connected up digitally, and standing together to say, in the country that we value, that we love, we don't let Jewish people get hated. And we want to stand together for this country to be one and free. And this is our time to stand up as an act of love. It's just an act of love for our country, for our community, for our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids, for generations as yet unborn, that they will live in this wonderful, free place. So, here's something you can do right now. Take out your phones and scan the QR code and sign the pledge. And I've got a prize for the first person who can get on our website and sign the pledge. So as soon as you've got there, you can do it now. It's okay. It should work. I hope it points you to the right website. People would say to me sometimes, Mark, I don't like organized religion. And I'd say, mate, come to our church. We're very disorganized. So hopefully the website works. Give it a go. And then I'll show you the present, the gift I have. Okay, who's got it? Yeah. Is it working?
Have we got a bingo?
Okay. So, I was going to say, first prize is a coffee with me. Second prize is 2 coffees with me. Third prize is I spam you for the rest of your life. So has anyone signed it yet? Okay, oh well, stick your hand, you've signed it? Oh, here we go, here's some merch. Have a... So we have some merch, it's great. T-shirts and caps, Australians Against Anti-Semitism. I walked around the city of Sydney with this on. I was doing a little Instagram live, and I'm talking, and people are looking at me, and people, I had, like my wife said to me, are you sure it's safe to wear that around Sydney? And I'm walking down Martin Place, and this Aussie bloke in his RMs and his banker suit comes up to me, and he puts his arm around me and he says, Mark, that is exactly right, because what's going on in this country is terrible. He didn't say Mark, he didn't know who I was. He goes, that is exactly right. What's going on in this country is terrible, and we're with you. So what I want to encourage you to do is go online, grab our merch. We've got some at the back you can buy, and wear this shirt around and just send the message that we don't tolerate this in our country.
Does it come in small?
Does it come in small? Yes, it comes in all sizes. Yes, including this one, which is extra large. I'm a natural optimist. And people have said to me, Mark, given all the challenges and complexities we face here in Australia and the West, do you think there's any hope? And I just said, you know what? I'm not responsible for what happens, but I am not going down without a fight. Because this culture, this civilization, this country that we live in is worth fighting for. So I want to encourage you, it's not going to be quick. This one conference is not going to solve the problems. But let me tell you, if we work together and we win and hold the center, we will win. Thank you all so very much. God bless you.